The Masonry Bridge Wizard was first released in version 20. Now in version 21.1, there's been some significant developments, and we've also improved the user interface. Now to use the Bridge Wizard, we go to the Bridge menu and the Masonry Bridge Wizard. And to start with, I'm going to generate a bridge definition. So here you can see the new user interface. We've now got a grid style input that allows me to do cut and paste. And we've also improved the annotated drawings so you can see the dimensions you're entering. Now, I'm going to do a 2D model, but I could choose to do a 3D model. I'll come back to that later. And for this demonstration, I'm just going to use the example data. So this will populate the wizard with the dimensions that I need for the bridge. Now I'm just going to look at some of the key dimensions. So here I can look at the span, the width of the bridge, and here we've got the abutment datas. The next tab is the spans, and it's a 3-span bridge. So you can see spans 1 and 2, and the scroll bar at the bottom allows me to scroll to see span 3. So if I scroll that over, I can see span 3 now. We've also got spandrel data. This is new in version 21.1. I can't do this in a 2D model, so I'll come back to that and show you in a 3D model. We've then got the material. Now the wizard creates a linear and also a non-linear model, and I can choose what materials I want to use in the models. So they don't have to be non-linear in the non-linear model. And here we've got the support conditions. Finally, we have the loading tab. Now the loading tab allows me to set up the train loading if it's a railway bridge. And I can just choose to have it in a number of different positions. So I could have it in 20, but actually I'm just going to have it in a single position to start with. Once I've set all the data up, I OK that, and that will create the bridge definition. Now that's stored under the Utilities tab here. And another improvement, it's saved, so if I double click on this, I go back and see all the dimensions that I've entered. So they're all there, so you don't lose anything. Once you're happy with the dimensions, I can go back to the bridge menu and I can then generate the bridge. And in this case, we're going to generate a 2D model. So this is the 2D model. We've got all the engineering attributes, and on the screen here, we've got the geometry, which has been meshed. Now, under the Analysis tab, we have a linear analysis, and we've also got a non-linear analysis. And the non-linear analysis has the train loading on, so you get both. Okay, so let's have a look at some results. Here we're looking at the self-weight of the structure in the linear analysis, but I can also look at the self-weight in the non-linear analysis. I can then add to it the train loading. So if I set active the train loading, you'll see some black lines on the structure, and this is where the masonry has started to crack due to the loading. Now at the moment I've limited the loading to 1.5 times the train load, but I could increase the load until I find the ultimate failure of the structure, and that will give me a factor of safety against collapse. Now let's look at a 3D model. So starting with the Bridge Wizard, I'm going to look at 3D. I'm going to use the example data again, but this time I can put a skew angle. So let's put a skew angle of 15 degrees. And because I'm now doing 3D, I can put some internal spandrel walls. Now, I'm going to put one set of walls in there, and that's because the width of the bridge isn't sufficient for 2 sets of spandrel walls. So with the data there, I can only use 1. So I've now defined that. It's been saved in my bridge definition here, and I can generate the 3D model. So here's the 3D model. If I rotate it around, you'll see the 3-dimensional geometry. And we've got a train load sitting there on span 1. Now I'm going to make the arch fillet invisible, and that allows me to see the spandrel walls running down the structure. So if I rotate the model around, you should just be able to see the spandrel wall down there at the end, and then there's a pair of them running along the structure. So I've got the spandrel walls. I'm going to load up some results and start to look at the stresses. So here you can see the stresses on the structure, and again you can see the stresses in those spandrel walls where the train is sitting. Now, this is the new improved Masonry Bridge Wizard in version 21.1,